What's going on, everybody? Happy 2019. You see what I did there? Wasn't that clever? Anyway, I'm back after months of not making any videos. Been busy working and doing other projects and theater crap in the holidays and all that stuff, but now I decided to make another thing and back to stuff that I've wanted to do for a long time and haven't, but here we are back to the Yamato Mecha Collection kits, which I guess I only did like 3 of those, so it's not really back to anything. It wasn't a series of well thought out things, it was just whatever, here's a thing. So we're going to do that again, and this time we are doing the Zoelguut class, Domelaze the Third, however you pronounce it all. One of my favorite ships, especially because they made this. Except I liked the ship before they even made this, but we'll just... Yeah, the 1/1000 version. Someday I'll actually paint it, or do a thing on it, or buy 2 more and do different paint schemes. Well, I guess with 2202 there's a bunch of other paint schemes, but whatever. That's not the point. The point today is the Mecha Collection version. So let's pop that open and check it out. Anyway, we got 4 little sprues. We'll start with A1, which is the top of the hull. Very nice detail. It's probably too much to hope for, or whatever. I mean, I wish this piece had been separate, that way you wouldn't have to mask it, but then, you know, it would be nice. Then also, if all these little pieces were separate, like the little trim, but as you can see in the box, it's kind of got that white trim going on, but that's probably a little too much to hope for a $3 kit. So, but we still have wonderfully amazing detailed and panel lines and all its little turrets and everything. A2 is the bottom of the ship. Get that. You can see all the little thrusters are engraved. All that good stuff. Get the engines in the back. A3, we've got the standy base. We've got the detachable command section, intakes, Bassard collectors, whatever, fins, and the front of the ship, the bow. And A4, we've got the sides and the glowy Bassard collectors and more fins. So, not a lot to it, but there's really not a lot to the ship. It's just a long thing. And, yeah, so I'll go ahead and just shoehorn this one in. So there's a couple different versions of the show, and then in Yamato 2202, there's even more versions, which would be cool if they released a kit that had water slide decals that you could do all the detailing that's on that. I won't talk too much about it, just in case you haven't seen it, but there's a fancier version that shows up of this ship. But for this one, I'm going to try to do the original paint scheme with this kind of purpley gray, and then the white, and then the dark gray, and all that stuff. And I thought I had another one of these kits, but I guess not. I think I gave it to a friend, because I was going to do 2 of them, and then do the other one in the red version that you see, that Admiral what's-his-face, the guy who tries to take over and then gets blown up for his trouble, or well, I guess he gets shot in the back by the fat guy who then dies at the end by the Space Wolf. No, that's not the Space Wolf, the submarine guy. Anyway, but to start off that collection, I did build one of them many years ago, like 3 years ago, whatever, as the blue version that Desalar lookalike was going to take to go on space vacation to Balin, I think, to look at the fleet or do some sort of thing. I just watched the episode like 2 days ago. I already forgot what he was doing. Didn't matter. He got blown up. Anyway, this was the version of the ship that he done got blowed up in. and it's just kind of an all blue version. It doesn't even have like the white trim or anything, or like a light blue trim. From what I could tell, it just looked like pretty much the whole ship was blue. Let's talk about paints. So according to Mech9.com, which is a fabulous resource, although I think they've stopped posting things, but I'm not sure. Last time I looked on their new page, it seemed like they'd stopped posting things a while ago, so I'm not really sure. But they do have a translation of the 1/1000 scale kit paint guide, and fortunately there's like 4 colors on this ship, and I didn't even know there were that many. But for the white, it says 100% white, pinch of gray. I'm assuming it's probably the same. Oh, there's the directions. And I don't have an old kit. There was no old kit of this to compare it to. There was a little miniature from the old Star Blazers game, but I don't have that, and it's, you know, almost completely different. Proportionally, what I'm going to do is use this. This is a Mr. Color character white, but I've mixed it with, I don't know, I put some of the light gray in there, and I think a pinch of buff or something from Tamiya, because apparently you could mix them, I guess, because it worked. Oh, this is going to stink. It stinks so bad. I don't know if you can tell. Okay, I'm putting it back up. Didn't hit me yet. Nah, it's going to hit me. It's so stinks. It's black as you stink. Anyway, it kind of looks green on the camera, but I'm looking at it in the viewfinder. I don't know. Could be this too. Could be the settings. I don't know what I'm doing. Does it look like I know what I'm doing? Anyway, I'm going to use this for the white part. So this kind of detail, and then the little command ship and the trim. And then for the gray, it says body purple part, 90% white, 10% medium blue, and a pinch of red. And so they're making purple the old-fashioned way instead of just adding purple, putting blue and red together to make that. Because there's just, it's not quite purple or, you know, whatever, but it's like just a hint of it in there, which gives it a little color. So I was considering about using this. This is just straight Mr. Color light gray. I have 4 Mr. Color paints. I just bought the ones that I thought would be most useful, that the hobby store across town carries Mr. Color, and I was like, what the hell. But, just look how good it looks. Well, I'm going off on a tangent, but look at that. Can you tell? Obviously, this is nowhere near done, but it's kind of the wrong white, but it just went on so well. It's so nice. It's like it has the precision and flatness and smoothness of a spray can lacquer, but it doesn't have like the thickness of it. And that's why this is like my new favorite thing. And maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I can never get it with Tamiya's just to be that. I can get them like smooth and everything, but there's just something else about it. I can't really explain it. That's just smooth or something. Maybe it's because they're glossy-ish, and the Tamiya's, I usually use flats. I don't know. The Tamiya's look great. I love Tamiya's. All my paints are Tamiya's pretty much. And I got some Vallejos too, but anyway, point being, got some Mr. Color, and I was considering using this, but I don't know, it's not really... Oh, wow. Even on here, they don't even look remotely close. So I will come up with something for that, but let's see about putting it together. Alright, well, I was going to do that thing where it's the jump cut of it getting snapped together, but I think it's actually just going to be easier to leave in pretty much... Actually, there you go. Got one in there. I think it's going to be easier to actually just... There. Now I think it's just going to be easier to go ahead and leave it like this, just because for masking and paint part separation and stuff like that. So we've got, these are all, keep them in camera frame, those are going to be white. This is like half white and half gray, and then this one, of course, has the big white section right here. So I'll have to get that masked off, and I think that's, I guess right here too. Oh, sorry. This white section and this these two in front of those areas right there. Also have to have that masked. And I'm just looking at my 1/1000 scale version for comparison. But yeah, so I guess I need to do some tape, and obviously that's what it looks like when it's all put together. So there you go. Alright, I guess I can't mask anything without painting it first. Okay, so I'm starting to try to mix this main hull color, so I did some flat white and then added some medium blue, is what it says. Medium blue, but I just used this, which isn't this, it's actually that. So, if that makes any sense. It was RAF Ocean Gray, but now it's that, which is almost nearly the same color, which was for the UNCF Dreadnought, the 2202 Dreadnought. So, hopefully that wasn't too much, and it might have been. Let's see. It's close. Let's see what happens when we add the dot of red. Now, I'm doing this on camera, so it's bound to screw up. So, oh, one little tip and trick. This might be something everybody knows, but what I like to do is get a thing of BBs, like a 99-cent thing at the Walmarts or whatever, and I just dump them in there, and then it helps shake up everything. I guess I'm a annoying weirdo. I just keep all my old paint bottles and then just recycle them for you know, custom mixes and stuff. And I usually just airbrush whatever new color it is on, wow. Or I throw photo etch everywhere. That's up here. Airbrush whatever color it is back onto the jar. But the BBs really help mix everything up. I usually put 2 in there. I used to put just 1. Alright, non-existent studio audience, let's check it out. See if this is the final color. And let's go with good enough. It's probably good. This is why this is not an expert tip modeling show. It's a hack fraud one, but that's pretty close. I guess when you consider, let me paint it somewhere you can see it. Let's just go right here. And obviously I'm going by, you know, Bandai colors the plastic in what color it's supposed to be, and it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. If I keep doing it, I'm going to ruin it. I'll keep adding crap, and then it's going to get worse and worse, and it'll be too red, and it'll look obscene, and all that stuff. So we're going with this. So boom, base color, and of course, what I've learned spraying anything that's like a really, like mainly white, if it's like the white paint, you want to add a little more airbrush thinner, because for some reason it needs more than like all the other colors to not come out, you know, droppy, spray, or I don't know, whatever. It doesn't come out as smoothly, kind of gloppy, if you don't add more thinner than kind of regular. So I did add a little bit of more thinner to this. So we got that. We've got our white color, and then there's gray and red, but I'm not really concerned about those at this point. It says shine red for the red. I assume that's a hobby, Mr. Hobby color. I'll probably just use red. And between flat coat, clear coats and stuff and weathering, it'll probably dull down a bit. Or I might use a darker red, add some darker red to that. Doesn't really matter at this point. And then the gray, it says 70% gray, 30% black. Probably just use NATO black or German gray for that. At this tiny scale, probably German gray will look fine. It doesn't matter. It's this thing. Who cares? Alright, and back with the first group of painted things, and it almost doesn't even look painted, but there's the original color, and there's my fake color, fraud color, whatever. My close enough color. It is good enough. I love it. I got that, and just got the wow, oh my goodness. Oh, it's so blinding. I did the white first on this. I'm gonna mask that because I forgot I needed to do those, and then I was like, oh, I should probably just paint this first, and then I had already painted this, and what? I don't even know what I'm saying. Lacquer fumes. And then I thought, wait, this is a tiny model. I'm gonna mask that? Okay. I'll just gonna hand paint it. We'll just hand paint that. I'll paint the whole ship, but I'm gonna hand paint the white on this and the white on the wings, or the little fins. And maybe I'll mask this one. What the heck? It's so big. Big. Alright, I just decided to go ahead and just hand paint all the details. So let's put it together and see what needs to be done. Well, I have no idea where the mics died, but they did, so I'm just going to do this again. Anyway, here it is all put together, and all the paint apps added. I think I need to touch up just a couple little things. So this was the custom mix color, then the white, light gray mix for all the white parts, and then I used Vallejo medium gunship gray because it was right there and it looked like a nice dark gray color for the intakes and the engines and that. And then for the bridge dome, I didn't have a purple, I didn't have a clear purple, and I didn't feel like runging around for a purple, so I just mixed a red and a blue, and it kind of worked. And then I while it was still kind of wet, I kind of went back and forth, or kind of streaked it with the brush, because, you know, they kind of have that, well, this isn't a good example, but you can kind of see it on here, because I never got around to finishing it, but they kind of have those kind of little blister window things that are a pain to mask. Is there a mask set for that? Somebody should, Green Strawberry or Aztec Dummy or somebody, make a mask set for the bridge windows on this and the Desera 2 core ship. And speaking of the Desera 2, so they made the 1/1000 version of this, but why aren't we going to get a 1/1000 scale version of the Desera 2, the big one, not the little core ship, but the big one? I mean, that's got to be as cool as, I would imagine it would sell better than this. I mean, at least this was in the original series, kind of, like the 70s version of the show, not just like this, but and I guess that one only appeared in like 2 episodes too, and whereas this thing they keep trotting out. But now I'm off on a tangent. The point being, it's all done. Paint-wise, like I said, I'm going to do some touch-ups, and if I was a better modeler, I would have filled the seams, but I did not, so we're stuck with that. Anyway, after I fix those, I'm going to clear coat it with Future, and then we will do some washes on it. So there I got the Domelaze, the third, and the first, like Gamulus Force 1 or something. If this is the third one, then this has got to be the first, I'm guessing, and the red one's number 2? I don't know. Yeah. Alright, and here it is all gloss coated. Kind of looks just like it was raw plastic. So usually I like to use the Tamiya, this good old stuff, panel light and accent, but enamels, this is enamel base, will actually, this might be common knowledge by now, but will like eat Bandai plastic, and I've had several first-hand experiences with that and the horror. And you can do it to where if you clear coat it and everything and have a protective layer, it'll be fine, but you have to worry about it getting into like the cracks and everything, all the like seam lines. So, and then since there's one big one along here, I think we'll just go ahead and go with Good old classic Vallejo light gray wash is what I'm going to use for this one. So let's attempt to do this on camera. All right, got a handy dandy little tray here. Let's see. Hopefully this works on camera, of course. It's got a little wash, and I'm going to add just a little bit, put some water in the one next to it so I can dilute it just a bit. Now this is just the way I do it. It's probably the wrong way or whatever, or I'm doing it almost a good way, something like that, who knows. But this way usually works pretty well for me. Now, one thing I like to say is, since it's such a big scale, small scale, whatever you want to call it, this is a huge ship and a tiny model of it, I personally don't like thick or really dark panel lines, and that's just me, but because I like to show the scale. So even there, you can kind of see that was just the front. And because what I'm going to do is come back with a little bit of the Vallejo thinner, and I'm just actually really going to go to town on this one. Come back with the Vallejo thinner on a Q-tip, cotton swab, whatever, and take off all the excess. But this is the Vallejo light gray wash, so it dries pretty light, so I might have to go over it again, or I might go to the gray, or maybe dark gray for some of it, or maybe mix them. Yeah, well, staying in camera. This is fun to do while filming, but I love it over the white. Look at that. That's awesome. But you want to make sure, of course, you have a nice, good protective gloss coat. Gloss, so that way everything slides around nice, goes into the crevices well, and then when you're removing it, you'll get a nice clean surface area, and just the wash inside the panel line or detail or whatever it is. And also, it'll be if we were doing decals. Everybody probably knows this. I don't even know why I'm saying it, but I'll finish my thought anyway. If you're doing decals, then the decals will slide around and they'll be smoother, that you won't have that like silver bubble underneath, or as much. It'll be easier to get rid of that if it's a nice, smooth, glossy surface. And like I said, this is just the future floor wax, or what is it now, Johnson's 2 times more shine, I think it is. It's in my airbrushing area. I should have brought it, but oh well. But I think it's mostly common knowledge. But if you look up modeling forums and things like that, they should be able to show you exactly what it is. And I don't know if it's available everywhere, but usually I would use a Tamiya gloss coat, or I started using the Vallejo one because it's winter and I have to paint inside pretty much in my airbrush booth, so I went to the Vallejo gloss, and that was fine. But then I used just straight sprayed the Future just right out of the bottle, and it was freaking awesome. It was freaking awesome. That's all I can say. Now, I haven't really experimented with different types of paint with it, so I should probably research more of that. This is obviously, the lacquer Mr. Hobby, and then the Tamiya is all this, and I think I've sprayed it over a Vallejo too, so those seem to do okay. I'm not sure how it does over enamel. Maybe it's fine, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't researched it. But so far so good. So far so good. I'm curious to see what other products, weathering products and stuff I can use over it. I assume enamel's okay. I don't know. I have no idea. I guess I could test it, but not on this episode of Idiot Masterpiece Theater. Not on this one. Did I leave all this in? I hope I didn't, because it's just me talking. I don't even have an accent. Maybe it's in the blooper bonus footage of me not getting it on the camera. Alright. I think we're getting there. Highlight that a little heavier. I guess I did forget to paint the little red. There's a couple little red, oh my goodness, red missile tubes, whatever they are, up here in the front. So I'll have to go back and do those. I did think about painting the thrusters on the bottom, but If it doesn't have the landing gear, then what's the point? I love how the carriers had like big tires so they could drive around when they landed in that episode. Speaking of which, I didn't play the music or talk about the music. Let's play the music. I love that. Every time I hear this, it sounds like some awesome's gonna happen with spaceships, and they're gonna blow stuff up or fly around or get blowed up. And they have space fighters. Yeah, that's a good one. Good work. That guy who composed the music for the program, I can't think of your name. It's brilliant. And then your son did $21.99 and just brought it all back. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, that's probably good enough right now. So if I see any problems, I can come back to it. So yeah, it looks a little splotchy and gross right now, but I'm going to let this sit for a while. Probably, since it's nearly my bedtime, because I'm an elderly man now and have to work at 6 a.m., probably just let it sit overnight. And sometimes I bring a thing to work on for breaks or lunch, but since I want to do this for this, basically public access television program, I'll have to restrain myself and work on something else. So that's, I'm gonna just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. All right, that's whatever. It's fine. Anyway, so we're gonna come back and take that off with a little bit of the airbrush thinner. So far, I haven't had a problem just putting it straight onto a Q-tip and taking it all off. And you want to let it set, I should say this in case you don't know, let it set for a while so that way it has time to like dry in the panel lines and stuff. Otherwise, if I did it now, it would just take it all off. But if you let it get solid and then you can kind of push it around with the Q-tip and the thinner, it seems to work pretty well. So back whenever that is, right now. Alright, and now it is the next day, and this has had a while to dry, so let's go ahead and got my cotton bud, got my airbrush Vallejo thinner, and I'm just going to go ahead and dab it right into the Q-tip, and here we go. Hopefully this works on camera. So, you probably just skip ahead if you don't want to see me do this or me complain about 2202, because I found the English dub, and voices are much better than I was expecting. I originally watched them 2202 and 2199 in the original Japanese version, but it's nice to have the dub, that way I can work on stuff and not have to like watch it and read the subtitles the whole time. Anyway, so I just rewatched episode 9 and 10 of 2202, and this is spoilers, so if I thought to put in a time code, here you go, you can skip to the end and see the final reveal. But I just watched episodes 9 and 10. That's the most frustrating 2 episodes of like any show I think I've ever watched. why did they... There was literally no other place they could meet other than a really crappy, sketchy-looking lava planet with demon temple things on it that looks disturbing and is a perfect place to get attacked. Like, there was no other... They couldn't just meet out in space and shuttle people over. And then, let's meet on a flimsy-looking, like, natural bridge made of evil rock lava, and let's park 5 miles away so all the civilians and people can, you know, walk over lava on this bridge that looks like it's about to fall apart. So we set it up and make sure there's a dramatic action sequence that's going to happen. Like, it's so irritating. And just tell them there's guys with the bombs on there. If you're going to not pick one anyway and go into a dramatic thing, why don't you... Tell the lady, Marine, to tell Yuki, or tell them to radio the ships to have security be put on their engines. Why don't they have security anyway with a bunch of, like, civilian or random people on board? You think they'd have security in the engine room, you know, so in case a zombie comes to life that with a bomb in it and goes into your engine room and blows himself up, you won't have to do that. And then what? The planet bombs turned it into a black hole, and then the wave motion gun blew it up and made it a not black hole, and then everything was fine? Maybe I just don't get it, but it was just... I remember the first time I watched it, and it was so irritating. I just wanted to go, shut up. Just shut up. Stop talking. I know it's a drama thing. It's dramatic. Oh, they're in love. We gotta do a whole thing. But no. No. It's gotta be stupid. I hated it. I don't like this 2202 as much as 2199. The writing's weird. I don't know what it is. There's also... Do you remember the Andromeda? Do you remember that? That was like the Excelsior to the Enterprise. Do you remember the Andromeda? Well, here it is. Here it is. There's like 25 versions of the same ship. Do you know why there's 25 versions of the same ship? So we can crank out the same $120 model kit, and you people will buy it because it's the same one, but they're all different. That one's blue, and that one's blue with stripes, but that one's blue with a thing with like a goiter on the back that's a carrier, and we know you'll buy that. But then we can make a bunch of other versions. This one's got a pirate symbol on it. I haven't seen the end, so I don't know where all these other ones come from. And then the Gamlons are gonna get one, and it's gonna be like black and red, and it's gonna have the little like pinstriping all over it. It's gonna be the new carrier because the Alliance or whatever happens. But it's so we can sell that same $100 model kit and pack it with an expensive sound and light system. And then we're gonna have just the Dreadnought because everybody likes the Dreadnought class. Or the battleship, whatever. But then we can release 14 versions of that ship, too. Now we got a laboratory version and a red and gray version. We can just do that. But it's the same mold, and we don't have to change it. Instead of, like, a laboratory ship not being, like, a battleship with guns on it, you think a laboratory ship would be more, you know, science-y. Maybe it's explained more. I don't know. I'm just going off the pictures that I've seen so far and ranting like a lunatic while trying to do this at the same time. Who knows if I even kept this in the video? Who knows? Anyway, back to this. I could complain on and on. I love 2199 so much. It was wonderful. But 2202, I don't know. There's some... Maybe they felt they had to pack in more stuff because it's an OVA thing and it's not just a TV series, since it's like a series of small movies, kind of, but they're still episode length. I don't know. I don't know how this works. I like Gundam in this. I'm not an anime guy, other than those two franchises. And even Gundam, I only like the Universal Sentry and Iron-Blooded Wolfens. So, I don't know how that sits with whatever. I don't care. It's this YouTube program starring this plastic model kit. Anyway, alright, here we go. So basically, putting the cotton swab on there, and we're going over all the areas that have dried wash color. And just in case this isn't, you know, apparent or you don't know this, make sure whatever your, you know, thinner thing is not the same kind of paint that your clear coat is. Otherwise, this thinner would have taken that clear coat off. And fortunately, the future isn't affected by it at all. You could use like a Tamiya lacquer spray, and that would do well. Then you could do the exact same thing, just do it Tamiya gloss, just spray it right out of the can. TS, whatever it is, you can get them at your local hobby store or online. Or the Testors clear coat, you could do that as well and do the same thing. And then of course you could do it with the enamel thinner instead of the Vallejo acrylics if you wanted to do that. But like I said, on these Bandai kits, I just, after the experiences I've had, I could probably do it, but I was just like, It was not fun watching my X-Wings cannons just kind of crumble. Somehow I still haven't managed to put it back together and repair it, but still not a fun adventure. Alright, so this is boring, and I'm just going to keep taking this off until it looks good enough. Then we're going to come... who cares? We'll just come back when it's done, because after that I'm just going to coat it with a flat coat, and it should be done. Maybe I'll paint the base, but probably not. I'll paint that another time. Anyway, we'll see you in a second. Well, for the big reveal, I think no other song is more fitting than the great Imperial Gamulus theme song, Old Glory to Zabelik and all that good stuff, and weirdos and all that stuff. Here we go. Final reveal of Mecha Collection number 11. Zoelguut class Domelaze III Super Space Dreadnought, and without further ado, here it is. Alright, just flat coated it, and I'm calling it good. There was a point where I'm like, I can keep messing with it, get rid of a little more wash here and there, but it's fine. There's a point where you just, it's you know, a tiny plastic model. It's going to sit on my shelf, and I'm going to look at it, and that'll probably be the extent of its existence. So, and I will enjoy it just like that. But just to recap all the, I painted, well, we'll get to that. Just to recap all the materials and everything, I actually didn't even prime it. I didn't even wash it. This is, I'm just going from, you know, laziness, pure laziness, and just wanting to build it. Didn't even prime it, didn't paint it. First I painted the white, which you could use Tamiya, or I just use this Mr. Color. You want to paint the white stuff, and then I made a custom color for this blue-gray, purple color, whatever, and painted that also, and I painted them in the different sections. Then I clear-coated it with the future, or you could use Tamiya or Testors or whatever. Then I used Vallejo light gray wash all over it, let it dry for a day. You probably didn't even have to let it dry for a day, just an hour or maybe even 30 minutes, and be able to rub most of it off. And because I let it dry, I had to use the thinner to take it off. If you kind of leave it wet but it's a little bit dry, you might still be able to take it off without the thinner, but I'd have the thinner just in case. Oh, I guess before that I should mention, for the little Bussard intake things, whatever, I painted them, hand brushed them with this, just this Tamiya yellow, and then I went ahead with Tamiya's... What is happening with the lighting? This is one thing... Well, there's a lot of things I fail at, but lighting these videos is one of them. Then I went with this lovely bottle that has been through some experiences of clear orange and just kind of did the tips, kind of the front, just lightly, and then took a little bit more. I thinned it down a bit for the kind of the mid to the front, and then a little darker, more of the color, less thinner for kind of the tip to make it a little darker. And then I also painted the missile tubes, whatever. I don't know if you could see them. Those ones right there where my shadow is, and that one right there where my shadow is. This Tamiya red color, which is flat red. It could be any red, really. And then I also painted the underside of the capsule. It has little front red things, I think. According to this box art, I probably could have looked more, but it looks like there's some underneath there. You can see that in the picture. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then also a little purple for the cockpit bridge area. And I probably, if you really wanted to, or whatever, you could paint the landing thrusters, because they're all molded in there. You could have those be lit up. You could potentially light this model up. You'd probably be an insane person. No offense, but you could probably do it with a lot of work. And I guess I could have put some purple in the engines, but I guess you could also light those up if you're an insane person. But knowing some of those guys in the magazines, they probably did. Because I saw somebody light the Bandai Star Destroyer, which is about the same size, and it had all the windows and engines and stuff. My God. Anyway, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, there's that. Let's get a little comparison. We've got the Deslar version of the ship. And it's the same ship, but it's below. Oh boy. And what the heck, let's throw in a couple of the other Gammaless mecha ships. We've got the Darld, although the green one from, wasn't it Celestial Voyage of the Celestial Star Arc, or Space Arc Odyssey, whatever the movie was. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, there was a green one, I think, right? Because I had to paint it green. I don't know. Got the green one, and then I did the Dystoria. Is that what this one's called? Both of these, all these guys did years ago, so they're not as good as this one is now. Pretentious modeling. Anyway, but it did it in kind of the Imperial Guard colors, or what I could do at the time. Could use a flat coat. I might go flat coat this. The glossiness is making me sick. We got that guy, and just for a little battle comparison, and also for something I also just finished, and kind of ties in with all the YouTubedness. Some of my first YouTube Yamato mecha stuff was the Kukulkan and Lascow. I think that's Lascox, whatever it is, whichever one's which. Videos on those guys, and you can see I've actually gone and painted them. I'm very proud of myself. You have no idea, for matching this green. I don't remember how I did it. It was a combination of cockpit green. These are all Tamiya's cockpit green, IJN green, a drop of green, something else. I don't know. I just kept adding things till it looked the right color. Anyway, I'm very proud of myself for matching that, yes. And then copper with orange, clear orange over the top of it, or no, metallic brown with clear orange over it for the little eyes, sensors, whatever they are. And then, yeah, NATO black for all the black, and then the wash like I've done before. I never use black anymore, like straight black. I always go NATO black, because it's not quite black, it's not quite dark gray, but it kind of, it's not black, like stark black, and makes it look strange. Same on this guy, and then clear. Since it's white, I just did clear yellow over the windows. I don't remember, was I supposed to paint this white? Was this engine supposed to be white, and I was just lazy because it's one part? I could paint the engines too, or something, give them a little more detail. It doesn't matter, they're done. They're going to sit on a shelf, who cares? Got that. And then, the one I didn't do on the program, and always intended to, but didn't, is the good old Nazca carrier. And I'd like to get the 1/1000 scale version of this. A little tip, if you, wow, that's really showing up on there. I noticed that. Let's look at it from this side. There we go. I think there was a little spillage there that I just noticed. What I did is it comes with a sticker for this whole landing deck, and I just used the sticker but cut out all the black arrows and triangles and then laid the sticker down, and that served as a mask. I could have, done it with tape, and the recessed lines are nice in there so you could put the thing over it and then cut them out, but that just ended up being easier to just cut it out on the sticker, lay it down, mask it off, and again, use this white for the landing bay, and the white for those two as well. All the white sections is the same custom one I mixed. Well, this is light gray. I don't know. There it is. I've been showing the wrong color. There's the custom mix I did. Doesn't matter. Anyway, same copper, all that, yellow for the bridge, and then the Tamiya, or this, whatever this is, this thing for the washer. And then a little yellow, I don't know, some tan, I don't remember which one it was, but I used for the intakes, because apparently those have color in them. But other than that, there's the Nazca class. So we have a nice Gatlantis versus Gamilus awkward plastic space toy battle going on or something. But that doesn't matter. The whole point of this video that I can't believe you stayed till the end to, or maybe you just skipped to the end, and there's nothing wrong with that, was the good old Elk Domelaze III. And when your captain's named Elk, he should have antlers. I don't even know what that means. Do you remember in the original series, he had that space bird with the mouth, but it like started grooming him? Do you remember that? It's like started eating things out of his hair because he was a weirdo. But now he has a backstory and a wife because drama. It was fine. Give him backstories. He was sympathetic. He was a character. He was popular, I guess. Now I'm blathering. Anyway, there you go. There's the ship. Next time, probably not Yamato, but it could be. I'd like to do some more of the Yamato kits. I've got a whole bunch of them. I think I got up to 18, the missile drill ship. And I think I didn't get any more after that of the mecha kits, just because my mood shifted to something else, as it always does, as you can tell on the channel and the Facebook page, which you can check out in the description, a link to the Facebook page, and you can like that and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Whoa! And check us out on Instagram, Star Trek 1017, because somebody took the regular Star Trek, so mine's Star Trek and then the number of the USS Constellation. Whoa, it's creative overload. Oh my god, this last video is freaking 11 minutes. How long is this video? I don't care. Anyway, more kits, more things, more models, more fun, and you guys have fun out there and keep modeling, and yeah. Uchu Senkan Yamato Hashin!